Hey guys, you guys miss me? Well, you probably don't. I did make a video a while ago, but you know what? That's not the problem. We're gonna do something a little bit different, a little bit the same, and we're gonna be talking about that good old Guardians of the Galaxy today. So without further ado, I don't want to waste your time. Let's get into today's review. Guardians of the Galaxy is a team that has had a major push since their MCU debut. Now, I'm not saying they didn't exist. I'm just saying back in 2009, if I told you we'd be standing in line in the middle of a crowded theater to watch a movie about a talking raccoon, a talking tree that can only say its name, and some random cowboy that jams out to the 80s best was going to be a household name, everyone would know who they were, you would have looked at me fucking crazy. Okay, in 2011, you would have believed me because Rocket Raccoon was in Marvel's Capcom. But that's beside the point. See, I thought Square Enix had completely given up on making superhero games after their failed Avengers game. Look, it's not the best game, it's not the worst game, but it's just not that great. But no, this game was great. I didn't know how, considering how little faith I had in this game. Legit, I had the same yawn when it was revealed at E3, but I regret everything I said. This game blew my expectations out of the water. I was just hoping for it to be a good, decent shooter, but this game is everything. It even fixed problems that the comics have with the origins of some of the characters. Because trust me, if you look up Peter Quill's origin, you're about to get 5 different decades of space nonsense, and trust me, you don't want that. But it has that, and there's so much to go through. So let's crank up some tunes, let's get together, and let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, Square Enix's Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's keep this simple, even though this is going to be extremely hard to keep simple without spoiling the game, but I'm going to try my best. The Guardians, being on one of their crazy adventures, heads to a mysterious quarantine zone, which, by the way, it looks gorgeous, that gets them arrested by the Nova Corps. Side note, this game does not have any connection to the MCU. You can basically go in here blind without looking at any Marvel movies or anything. Even if you have, you'll probably understand what's going on. But as a comic book fan, I appreciate this. Meaning they were allowed to have an extreme amount of freedom in what they can and can't do. But back to the story. The Guardians end up having a fee that needs to be obtained. Again, more hijinks ensue because, let's face it, it wouldn't be a Guardians game, movie, comic without them somehow getting into a hijinks involving them capturing a monster or trying to sell Rocket for units. Look, Rocket's worth a lot of units apparently. Oh, and now they're fighting evil. When they go to pay back their fine, now they're fighting an evil church. The story may seem all over the place, but trust me, how it's told and how it's done is phenomenal because it's actually really deep. There's a lot of awesome parts I had to leave out without spoiling the game because, man, there's a lot of hype moments in this game, and I'd be doing a disservice if I spoiled this game. You gotta see and play a lot of them for yourselves. But overall, from the dialogue to the characters to just even, yes, the heavy emotional moments, because again, the one thing you always gotta remember, the Guardians is a family. And they will go through trials and tribulation, but they go through it together. Even the stuff that would be mainly, regulated to one person, they stand by each other, and it's amazing. A lot of them really hit home, and there's a lot of really moments that I couldn't even fathom they put in this game, because they put so much love and care into this story. And yes, your choices affect the game with these sort of Mass Effect like dialogue choices. And trust me, they're gonna happen in the story mode, so you have to think fast on your feet. But Guardian did a great job on the story. 10 out of 10 story, I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels like this could have been a plot for Guardians 3. Okay, this whole game is a PS5 experience to me, at least for me. Everything from the combat to exploration is just great. You play as Star-Lord as you command the other Guardians. Look, even I was a bit skeptical because we only could play as one Guardian, but Peter Quill is a certified badass, and the certain combination moves you can make with them is off the charts. And trust me, as you can progress and you're leveling up every character, it doesn't feel like you're only playing as Star-Lord. It feels like you're playing as the whole group. It just, you know, you're commanding them. It's super, I don't know, you have to play it to understand, but the commands and everything just feel perfect when how you combine stuff. Now the games and the choices that you make are all determined by you. You make the right choice, you may have certain characters help you. You make the wrong choice, they might not trust you. It's really hard to determine what that is, but it's gonna take multiple playthroughs for you to understand. This will affect everything from combat to even perks you get. Lastly, exploration. Your first playthrough, you won't find everything. Trust me, I missed out on so many costumes and stuff because I wasn't paying attention and I wasn't exploring. I was just trying to get through the story. But man, is this game worth exploring. Every piece of the environment, it looks beautiful. There's no ugly places, and there's no, oh, well, you'll just fight in the trees, you'll just fight in this factory. No, you're fighting in multiple places in different alien planets. It's such a beautiful thing to explore. Like, I still remember the first time I streamed the first, like, hour and a half of this game. I remember everyone just commenting, wow, this place looks gorgeous. It's just how they handle it. You won't find everything, but, you know, explore. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Last thing I want to go over is how you level up, which is basically you will hit a certain level cap after unlocking all your abilities. Actually, you more so level up through unlocking abilities and unlocking all sorts for the team. And as you hit your maximum power, you become OP. Now, some things can't be unlocked until you reach certain parts of the story, and I love that. But yeah, overall the gameplay was a surprise, and it was a really good take on how to do a team-based game. This game has a lot of positives. Some really great combat for no reason. Like, the combat should not slap this hard. Like, it's not even funny. Combat's amazing. Also, the story dialogue, from the random banter to just the overall story, chef's kiss. Like, also the huddle up feature. I didn't get to talk about this in gameplay, but it's a super useful, even though it plays some music I can't play on YouTube because I'd get copyrighted. Like, it has a good soundtrack, that's why I can't play a lot of it. But even the music, it's a great break from combat. It lets you really analyze the relationship between the Guardians. But not just that, it does recover your health in boss fights, and it's actually really fun with the combat. But also, what I really wanted to talk about is how each character was handled. Star-Lord doesn't have the most consistent origin in the comics, yet they have given us a solid origin story and a background and understanding. He also feels like a better character than his MCU counterpart, as he tries to understand his team. And even now, he'll eventually be like, hey, I know I have to be a leader, and even if this means threatening my teammates, because trust me, it took a while. Drax's story was so well done, and he was way better than the MCU counterpart. He didn't feel like just, oh, I'm here for comic relief. No, he's here, he had a full fleshed out story. You find out about his background as a father and as a husband. There's some very emotional moments with Drax. But he still has his comic relief moments. It's just, you learn so much about his character. Rocket was a fleshed out character. He isn't just a loudmouth of the group. He generally felt fear. He felt happiness. He was generally an asshole, and you loved him throughout it. He definitely was a great character. Man, Groot was just Groot. Groot was supportive, he was kind, compassionate. Man, I love Groot. Groot was just awesome. Even though I have a sneaking suspicion he keeps opening my galactic refrigerator. I see you. I see you. Gamora had some of the better dialogue and everything too. Which I didn't get to actually write fully the script for her, but Gamora was a character that generally felt like she did need a little bit more fleshing out, but she was a really great character. She did feel like the mom of the group, and she was the more supportive version of her. But yeah, even Peter Quill's hobbies and everything was shown. Also, one thing I want to bring out is that, you know, they actually talk about other comic references, such as Dazzler from the X-Men, and you can hear the Avengers get a reference, and even the Spider-Mans get a reference. Not just that, but the original Nova Corps members such as Richard Rider and Sam Alexander are mentioned when they're seen in the Nova Corps, you know, database. So it's a lot of stuff. This is just really awesome, and I gotta say, there's so many positives with this game that I left out too, that I feel like you need to explore and figure out. So yeah, definitely check out the game. There wasn't a lot to complain about with this game. Maybe about, well, two things. The first thing is that sometimes this game difficulty goes from manageable to outright impossible. You will die a lot. I know I died a lot in my first playthrough because they just send waves of enemies at you with different abilities, and they legit expect you to figure it out like then and there. Now I'll admit, a lot of the perks you got and a lot of the abilities you do unlock in the game does, you know, open up the game and making it a lot easier, but during my first playthrough I was getting my ass beat. I was getting handed to, and the thing is, I just had to learn. And while the learning process is easy, it's not exactly the best. And second, a lot of the times you won't know where you're going until a character kind of points it out. They do tell you in a dialogue, hey, Quill, go this way. But even so, it's like, where the hell do you want me to go? It's honestly awkward sometimes, and I gotta say that. Also, a little tiny thing, but I guess this is more of a me thing. The game did have some weird audio glitches sometimes. And I'm like, okay. And a lot of like bugs that needed to be fixed, because sometimes you would shoot someone and nothing would happen. It was madness. But yeah, that's really the only three things I could find really noteworthy that were bad. Game was something special, and it felt like a redemption for Square Enix. After Avengers, while Avengers is fighting and trying to get itself together and doing an okay job of it, Guardian took a risk and it worked. This game, honestly, I didn't expect to even do well. I thought people would automatically, you know, dismiss it, but no. It's doing fantastic, and it's fighting for what it believes in, which was just to make a good single player game. No game as a service. Just make a fun game that you can get through and have fun. It felt like a 2000s game, because I didn't have to worry about buying skins. I could just find them laying around. I hope this game gets a sequel or lays the groundwork down for future games like a Fantastic Four game, a Defenders game, or even an X-Men game or more. Anyhow, I hope you guys liked the review. I promise I will not be taking this long making content again. I was just in a very huge creative stump and generally wasn't in the mood, but I'm back. I'm doing this. I'm doing college, which is, you know, college is going to take up half my time anyway. I need to do that, and I have a part-time job, so if videos come out a little slower than usual, you know what happens. But I'm just trying to live life and get to the best I can. I want to turn content creation into something more than what it is right now, and it's being super small kind of sucks, but I'm going to turn this into something way bigger than it is. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear your opinions on this, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to check out my Twitch. I stream every weekend. Please come by the Twitch. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter. I have depressive rants. I talk shit on there. It's cool. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram, and don't forget to check out the Patreon and all the other stuff, even though it's not required. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.